Today, I want to talk about how I personally redefined success for myself. At the start of this year, I got a bit of a mental breakdown in the sense of I started reflecting on what I had and why I was feeling still a bit unfulfilled. Because I had achieved all the things that I wanted. For a long time, I focused for myself on getting the freedom, getting the lifestyle, and getting the money and basically all the things that I had at that point. Like I was living in a great environment with good friends around me, in a good apartment at the beach, with having a lot of freedom, with a business making enough money, and even with a business that makes enough money, at least the amount of money that I wanted it to make. And yeah, based on what I would previously define as success and what I felt like externally would be defined as success. I had that. And still, at that moment, I didn't feel like a success. I actually felt like a failure. And it was already something that I was, I don't know, facing against like for some time. Basically, since I got the freedom that I wanted and the business made the amount of money that I set for myself at the start of it. But at the beginning of the year, I really got to that point where I was like, all right, already for a few months, maybe even already for half a year to a year, I'm living the life that I thought that I really wanted to, that I thought was successful. And I'm actually not feeling like that. I'm actually feeling like all of this is worth nothing. That if I could swap it for doing something that feels truly meaningful to me, like all of this stuff, like I would just in an instant give it up. So yeah, my whole point being, even though I achieved the things and especially the lifestyle that I wanted and that I thought would make me feel like a success or would make me feel successful, and honestly other people would sometimes act like that was successful, that was what they wanted, that was what they saw as success, and it didn't feel like that inside. And I'm not the first person to come to that realization. You and me, like we both have heard these examples of people who achieve everything they want, and then they come up with this story of like, oh, it's not what I thought it would be, and it actually feels a bit empty now that I have all these things. Now what? And it's really a different thing when you come to the realization yourself, when you really wanted things for so long and you work towards it. At least for me, then it feels like I've been living a bit out of alignment. So even though I got the things that I thought that I wanted, I still feel I feel more like a failure than a success if I look to it internally. As I was trying to navigate this myself and trying to understand why I felt the way I felt, I realized that, at least for me, feeling good about myself, feeling successful, has actually very little, if any at all, to do with what I have or how other people perceive me or the life that I'm living. I realized that everyone could be telling you how amazing life you have, or you could look at your life from the outside and look like, oh damn, that's an amazing lifestyle, and how good you are doing. But that it, that if you don't feel like that about yourself, you don't actually feel successful. And I had that in multiple, and I've had this in multiple periods of my life. I even had this in uni when I was going through a phase where it was like, all right, I'm doing well for my age. I was also working on the side at an accounting firm. I was earning, a good salary for my age. I was going to uni, passing everything. And people would tell me, "Oh, you're doing so well, this and that," and it just actually didn't feel like that because deep inside, I knew I was not doing that I wanted to do, or I knew I could do more. So people could tell me all day, like I was doing so well, but I knew from myself that I wasn't doing all the things that I knew that I wanted or needed to do. And therefore, I could never feel that satisfied or fulfilled with myself, even though other people would approve of what I was doing or just, rationally looking at your situations like, well, you're doing well compared to the rest or compared to what people consider doing good is. But I can also think back about the first moment I started working hard, trying to make something of myself and of my life. And most of the people around me would not approve of that and would be like, what the fuck are you actually doing? And you're not getting results and this and that, like you're wasting your time. But I knew I was doing what I thought was right at that moment, and I actually felt very fulfilled. I felt like I was doing the right thing. So yeah, based on these experiences and how I felt like half a year ago, basically over the past year, once everything started working out in that sense for me, I could conclude for myself that the only way for me to feel good about myself or to feel successful is when I work towards something that is actually important to me. If I work towards something that I think I should do right now or that I feel like is right to do. It's not what is the easiest. It's not what will get me the most money or therefore the best lifestyle or what I would feel or think that is perceived as a success. But it's working towards something that I think is important, that I think is meaningful, that I think I need to do in this moment. So it's not about what other people think is important or think I should do. So yeah, I actually do feel successful in a moment where I'm just doing the things that I know for myself that I need to do right now, that I think I should do, and not what will get me to a bigger business right now if that's not what I think I should work on right now. And that's all regardless of the results. As long as I know that I'm putting in the actions, if I'm working towards something that's meaningful to me, even if it then doesn't lead to results, I know that I'm doing it. And that's better than working, for example, on a business and getting results, but knowing I actually want to do another thing. So that was my whole personal conclusion that I had. And I think a lot of people at some point in their life get that it's not really about getting the things that you want, but about working towards the things that are meaningful to you. Like, because if you're not doing that and you eventually get the thing that you thought you wanted, like it always feels unfulfilling and empty. I think that's what we can see with so many people. And so then a few days ago, I came onto the definition of success by Earl Nightingale. And I think it also perfectly captures what I discovered for myself. Because Earl Nightingale defines success as the progressive realization of a worthy ideal. So the progressive realization of a worthy ideal. That's the definition of success by Earl Nightingale. So a person who succeeds is the person who is progressively realizing a worthy ideal. So this someone who is working towards, not even necessarily achieving, but working towards his goals. And I think there are like two important parts in this. The first one is progressively realizing, someone is working towards, and the second one, a worthy ideal. And this basically means that success is not a final destination. Reaching a specific goal or amount of money is not the success, but it's rather the continuous process, the progressive realization of working towards a goal that you personally deemed as worthy. And if we define success like this, the way to become successful is to pursue a goal that you actually think is right. And if we define success like this, the way to be successful is to pursue a goal that you think is right or worthy of pursuing. This could be way more mundane than trying to make as much money as possible or building a big business. But as long as it's a worthy ideal to you, it's good. To give an example of myself, so I was running only my finance agency, but I knew I wanted to have an impact in education or at least get better at it, like at the teaching, at the coaching part. And that deemed like a more worthy goal to me, even though it didn't make sense financially or to most other people. And like on paper, it also didn't make sense because I had a finance agency that was going well, and the easiest thing for me to do to get more success, what success means for most other people, as in like a successful business, was to keep doing what I was doing and just scaling that. And because I was in that situation where I was only working on that agency, but I knew I wanted to do this other thing, that's why I just didn't feel like a success. I actually felt more like a failure because I was not doing what I thought I needed to do and I wanted to do. Coming to the conclusion we just talked about, the moment I actually just started working towards it, so like this education thing, I, for example, started teaching. I started creating my own videos and a few lectures, and some of them were actually shit. And a few teachings didn't went great. And from a lot of things that I did until now, didn't came any results. But I've been feeling very successful in this process, and way more than in the period that my business was actually growing rapidly. And I'm so sure that it is because I am now working towards a goal that seems worthy to me. So when you would take on this definition of success, being successful is actually pretty simple. It's not easy, but it's simple. And you can be it in a specific moment. You can pretty much decide now to be successful as a sense, because it's not an end state to get to. It's a state you operate in. It's something that you do. If you now know what's a worthy goal to you and you start working towards it, that's when you're successful. It's not when you reach some certain goal you think will make you successful. No, it's working towards the meaningful goal. And I think the most important part in this that I really want to stress is this worthy ideal part, since that is also what was missing for me for a long time. And I think for a lot of people as well. A lot of people are just chasing goals that are not truly theirs. And a worthy ideal is just a goal, a dream, or a purpose, however you want to call it, that actually matters to you. It's not a goal other people think that matter. It's not what society makes you believe that matters. It's not what everyone around you is doing and therefore you think that's what you should do. It's what you think that matters. It's what you deem as worthy to pursue. A good example I like to think about for myself is, let's say we have a man who becomes a billionaire and therefore he sacrificed what he really wanted. He wanted to be, let's say, a firefighter and building a happy family. And he didn't do that because he put everything on becoming a billionaire. Is this guy successful? I would argue no. And if we define success by the progressive realization of a worthy ideal, I think then we can say no. It's the guy who actually pursues what he finds as a worthy ideal. And if your worthy ideal is to be a firefighter and build a happy family, then if you are not doing that, like, it doesn't matter what else you are achieving. You cannot be a real success. But the most important thing is that, in my experience, it's the only path to true fulfillment. Since you can achieve all the things that you think you have to achieve, like the freedom, the lifestyle, the house, the money. But if you felt like you had to do something else to help your brother who is sick, if you felt like you had to pursue a creative project you always wanted to pursue, but you didn't know if you could make a living from it, so you kept doing your business that you actually hate, like, you will feel unfulfilled. At least that's what my experience is. And the other side of that is, like, if you know from yourself that you are doing what you think is right, other people could question what you're doing and could be telling you, like, what are you doing? Like, why are you not saving for the future? And all these things. But you would at least feel good about yourself because you know that you are doing what you think is worth it and what you think is right. I just wanted to share these insights and the switch that I've been going through. A few months ago, all I just wanted to do was be in the arena, which I think also aligns with this definition of success by Earl Nightingale. It's like the in the arena concept by Theodore Roosevelt. It's about playing in an arena that actually matters to you and then being in that game. And based on what we've talked about, the moment you step into that arena and start playing, start trying, that's the moment you're a success. And a few months ago, at the start of this year, that's all I wanted to do. There are a few things that I wanted to work on that I was not doing. And I had all the other things that I thought that I wanted. And I was like, it's actually worth so little if I'm not doing or working on the things that I want to work on. And now that's basically all that I'm doing. And now I'm actually feeling pretty successful. I'd say now I'm feeling the most successful than I've ever been. Because I'm doing what I think I should be doing right now. And maybe I might be wrong. But I know that if I'm not doing what I think I should be working on, then I'm definitely wrong. And it doesn't matter what I will get as external results otherwise. It doesn't fucking matter if I don't, as a result, feel fulfilling about what I have done or what I'm doing in that moment. So if there is any piece of advice I would like to give you and that I would like to give to my younger self, so to say, is that if you are actively working towards a goal you have chosen and care about, like you truly care about yourself, like you are successful right now, and don't let anyone else believe you otherwise or make you believe that you should do anything else. So that we just learn from successful people who have been there, who all tell us that success is not an end state. And I agree, success is not an end state. It's like the continuation of the basically of the grind you mostly enjoy. And a successful person is therefore a person who works with tremendous intensity on the things that matter to him, and more importantly, a person who's strongly unbothered when these things don't work out. So it's working with intensity on the things that matter to you and not being bothered if these things don't work out. I think if you can operate in that state, you are a success.